Hello, Penny here. Today on my garden podcast, the opacity of instructions to do with gardening. It just annoys me, this opacity. I think there should be a plain English campaign dedicated to making it easy for idiots like me to read it and understand it straight away. Allium sativum. Now, that isn't a Harry Potter spell, although I wish I had some magic in my hands, obviously. It's actually the science name for garlic. And that's what we're doing today. We're planting some garlic. Never done it before. I've got a little leaflet for instructions from the company that sent the Allium sativum garlic bulbs to us. I've got 4 bulbs in a purple net bag, which I'm promised is recyclable. Well, we'll see about that, eh? Take it down the supermarket to the new soft plastics recycling function that we seem to have cropped up here in the UK, and see what happens. But really what I'm interested in is the content. So we've got a bit of papery coating on the garlic there. Looks like an average garlic bulb that you'd pick up in the supermarket. So I've checked out whether you plant it as a whole bulb or whether you open it out into the cloves and slot those into the ground. So apparently it is the latter. And the leaflet I've been sent is quite interesting. For a new gardener, some of these bits of information are a little confusing and you think, oh, what's that? So for example, garlic, brackets, spring. Spring planting garlic is sent out from March until mid-April. What does it mean sent out? Does it mean from the place that makes it, like sent out in mail delivery in the I don't know. Or does it mean it's some sort of rooting thing where the roots get sent out? Because I've heard that as well. And then it says plant as soon as your soil is workable. I don't know what that is. I don't know what workable soil is. I mean, soil's workable all the time, isn't it? Because you can do whatever you... Anyway, I then went to, my favourite research department, which is, of course, Google. And I Googled it. And the Allium sativum is apparently okay just to stick in the ground. It's quite easy. I don't need to know whether the soil's workable or whether what sending out is. I don't know. Anyway, let's just crack on, shall we? So I've got some really nice workable soil here. It's amazing how quickly you can start sounding a bit expert. It's nice and loamy, Go to series 1 for loamy definitions and chat. Let's break that open. And it's a family member of, the onion, the shallot. And I don't want to do my nails in, which is why I'm going a bit gingerly with this. So I don't want to hurt my nails because I've just done them. And I've got a gig on Monday that I want to look nice for. It's Thursday evening, by the way, and it's the end of a long working day. Actually, it's not. I went into town and got my hair done. But I'm quite tired by that. Oh, come on. This is embarrassing now. This is a bit like me when I unwrap birthday presents or Christmas presents. I tend to tidy the wrapping paper away before I actually get involved with the present. Just a bit like that, I just like a nice clean surface or a tidy desk. I can think clearly then. If I'm surrounded by bits of muck, oh, that's garlicky. I lose my concentration on the enjoyment. I don't know why. That's why I like gardening, I suppose. You can clear up quite easily, can't you, and make things look really attractive. Oh gosh, this second one, this bulb here, got loads of cloves in it. Right, okay, that's the final 2. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cloves. I think that is going to be super in the ground. And you know what a garlic clove looks like, don't you? You've got a bottomy bit that's a bit rough and you've got a top bit which is quite pointy. So I'm going to assume the pointy bit where it, and you leave it on the side by mistake in your kitchen and it starts growing green bits out of it. I'm going to assume that's where the growth is. So this soil is quite interesting. Last autumn, there were a couple of cardboard boxes knocking around, IKEA boxes, you might remember, and they went on top of this bed and then soil was put on top to sort of keep it weed free, and it's worked quite well actually. So I've done a bit of weeding before this just to get the few early spring chances out. The weeds are like, yes, it's the warmth and it's a bit of moisture, I'm going to go for it. Hopefully they won't notice me and I can get a really good root system established, but I've thwarted them, you know what I mean? So we'll just start at the very end of this veg box, and I'm just going to do a row of these 9 cloves. And, the idea is that they magically then turn into bulbs themselves. Oh, it's so nice, isn't it, reproduction? And they have their bulbs, and then in a few months' time in August, when the leaves are yellowing, we're meant to harvest them and do it pronto as well, otherwise they rot in the soil. So a bit like onions, really. Now, I had been worried that this soil was a little bit too sandy, a bit too dry. But I'm really encouraged, just to catch my eye there, a couple of worms doing their thing. Oh, that one looks dead. Are you dead? No, just resting. Right, okay, you're active. So this one's going to go in with this garlic bulb, maybe. Don't know. So that's always a good sign when you've got some worms in your dry soil. Hey, I tell you what, we are water short at the moment because all the butts were full after the winter, and we've had a load of plasterers and builders around, still, may I say, building the extension of my dreams, and they nicked all the water out of the water butts to do their cement and plastering and all that kind of stuff. Fair enough, but it means we've got no water, which is weird. It's a really weird, we live in the northwest of England. It's quite a weird sensation to think that we haven't got access to water. We've got no outside tap at the moment either, and so we are really thinking about where can we get water from. In fact, Hunky Husband came up proudly from the end of the garden, having discovered a rogue bucket which was full of rainwater, and he very carefully brought it up. Quite proud he was, like he'd been hunting and foraging and came up with a bucket of water. I was very impressed. So we're going to use that to just water the garlic. You're not meant to heavily water garlic, apparently. Obviously, it's going to rot in the soil before it gets going, and you don't want to ruin the clove. You want to get some roots coming out. You want to get some shoots coming out. In fact, you want them to be sending them out, don't you? God, that just annoys me, this opacity. The opacity of instructions to do with gardening. I think there should be a Plain English campaign, dedicated to making it easy for idiots like me to read it and understand it straight away. Oh, put it in the ground, don't overwater it. Thanks. That would do it, wouldn't it? That's why I'm here, really. That's the mission of the podcast. Debunking. Right. So I don't want to use some kitchen tap water. I'm going to use rainwater. That's always my preference. Now, I can't remember how far apart they said to do it, but can't be that much, can it? 6 inches? What's that in new money? 10 centimetres? Yes, that's it. Right, this is the randomator of gardening, isn't it? Just stick it in, see what happens. Doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, a bit of garlic. It's good fun, isn't it? So I am pleased to be out in the fresh air. I've been, a bit run down perhaps. Just a bit kind of end of March. First quarter of the year is over, and frankly, everyone's been working a little bit too hard. No fun. All work, no play. All that kind of business. And I think I've got myself a little run down because I woke up Saturday morning with a sty in my eye. Have you ever had a sty? It's very uncomfortable. Feels like someone's put a small twig into your eyelid. And over the days, this is disgusting. Turn your pods off. Turn your iPods off. No, turn your... what are they called? Turn your hearing device off or volume down for the next moment or two while I describe what can only be said is like a brie sort of cheese-filled pustule on my blooming eyelid. And the surrounding area was all swollen as well. I looked like something out of the Middle Ages. Just needed a massive limp and missing teeth and, dirty fingernails, and I'd have been collecting the dead and stuff like that, wouldn't I? Coming out of my hovel. Anyway, it's on the mend. Anyway, I'm going to carry on planting some more garlic cloves so I can make delicious garlic bread from August. And I will be curing these for a couple of weeks, which means drying, basically. Clashes with the time we're away, actually, so who knows what will happen to them. They could just yellow and rot in the ground. But hey, we're having a go. That's the idea of the podcast. Have a go, gardeners. So I'm going to put some netting over this because apparently the birds like digging around for garlic and flying off with it, which would be annoying. So, yeah. Garlicky.